Now, the person I was back then, this is different. You've just seen a different person right there. I'm Del, I'm an ex-footy player and the founder of Live and Fit training platform. It's short Del, like the computer.
Easy to remember.
Easy. I'm 34 now. 34, just currently living in Brisbane. I'm Kiwi, I'm Māori. So I come from this town called Hamilton. So the first time I moved when I was 17, and I moved from Hamilton to Brisbane, and I moved to an area called Redcliffe. So my family's heavily involved with rugby and rugby league. My grandfather was a great in the sport in New Zealand. So it stems long, through generations. I can remember my first ever game of rugby league. I think I remember getting my first time grabbing the ball, went to run, saw the line, turned around, ran back to my own try line and put it down.
Yeah.
You're growing up, you're having fun. All that mattered on the weekend was going to the field to play the game and to get the oranges at halftime. The dreams probably kicked in sort of when I was just around 10 years old, you sort of understand more that, this is you can play on TV. The only famous people I ever knew or looked up to was footy players. That's the top, that's where you want to be, that's what you want to do. So 15, 16 years old, they're like, okay, I want to play NRL. Where we come from is like, you're either playing sport, doing well, or you're, sort of joining a gang. So when I pretty much decided to leave New Zealand, leave home, and mind you, for us young Māori boys, that's a hard thing to do. Growing up, going to Australia was a dream. Like we used to think, whoa, Australia, wow, big land, Gold Coast, all this. Once upon a time, it was all a dream. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazines. That was me. I used to read rugby league magazines. I made choices on my own from 15 years old. I made my own choices, Like I said, I thought I was the man then. So I decided no one could really tell me what to do. Decided, right, I'm gonna move to Australia and chase the dream, the rugby league dream. So I moved over end of 2007, 2007. And obviously again, I had a girlfriend then, so I left. And then my brother was already based here, so I moved straight in with him, and I went he took me straight to the Redcliffe Dolphins, who are now an NRL team. He took me straight to the club, signed up. I didn't have any sort of scout from there. It was just like sign up and just signed up to, I think signed into the under 18s or something, to this team, and then from there it was just like, have a go. I had one game for the under 18s, I remember. And then I pretty much got caught up straight away. So I took a jump pretty quick in that grade, and that was the best year. I loved it because you're playing in Australia. You're like, whoa, fuck, this is what I've always wanted to do. Getting injected into that footy community and culture here that's what gave me more of a drive and a spark to go. All right, and mind you, I was 17 at the time still. I was still 17 and I got jumped to the under 20s. And then from that year, things went well, but then there were also unexpected terms that sort of came about. My girlfriend moved over at the time. She moved over a little bit after me. And my dream was set. My dream was set. I'm gonna become a NRL player, obviously set up my family. Set myself up here, and then live the dream. And that 2008 year, she got pregnant. That was the curveball of what happened, of the journey. But that year we had our daughter Tiana.
So
Yeah.
you were very young.
Very young.
Yeah.
So it was a child having a child, you know?
Did you feel a little bit unprepared at the time?
Oh, massively, massively. Who is at that age?
Yeah.
You know, it's not a part of the plan
Exactly.
at all.
Yeah.
Looking back, I was navigating a world that I had no idea what was going on. I was just going with what I knew. We're fully in it, you know. I'm a father, I got a kid, I got a baby.
Yeah.
It was the best. It was the best. The hardest thing was, I'm chasing a dream and wanting to be a dad at the time. But also, the dream's in another country. My daughter that had just been born was in my hometown where I'm from. To think about it now, and I often always think back, like, man, did I do the right thing? Should I have done this like that way? So the decision was to carry on with the dream, and I'm going to bring them over, and I'm going to make it. As sweet as that vision was in my head and in my heart, it didn't happen that way. So, and tough times kicked in from there. At this time, I was going through a sort of, the footy dream child and going through the breakup at the time. Still 18, only 18, you know. So 2009, going into my next season to play for the Dolphins. Sort of in talks now with a few clubs. The Dolphins were aligned with the Broncos at the time. Something just hit me. I was like, I can't play. I literally could not play. It's going through all that stuff. So I decided to move back to New Zealand. So I packed up and left Australia. And obviously family was like, what are you doing? Kind of thing. But you're just doing what you feel, what you're feeling. So I left to, the reason why I really packed up was just go get my daughter. I wanted my family kind of thing at the time. Time to be a dad. Time to, find a job and just figure it out. And then, but again, hit me, boom, and I was going through a lot. This was when the mental health stuff started kicking in. With my daughters there, but obviously going through the ex-partner, the breakup, and just a lot happening at the time. And this is where I sort of back into the cycle, back into the rut. You're comfortable, but you ain't thriving. You ain't chasing anything. I knew here that it wasn't sustainable, so I couldn't focus on chasing a dream. Couldn't focus on rugby league at the time. No, it wasn't the priority.
Yeah.
It's funny, it's like guardian angels, big believer in guardian angels. My grandparents are always watching over kind of what I'm doing. And then another door opened, and I can remember the exact day that I had an opportunity, and it was a door that someone was looking over, because I wasn't doing anything, and I was going down the wrong path. And anyway, we're driving past a field. I can remember it like it was yesterday. Driving past the field, it was packed. I was like, what's going on here? Oh, we pull in. Oh, we know a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's as you do in that out of town. Oh, what's going on? They saw me. I'm like, Del. Called me over. I was like, oh, what's going on? There's a game here. Like, yeah. We're about to play the Penrith Panthers. We're Sydney NRL side. At the time, and everyone was there, and they're like, play. I was like, mate, I've got no boots. And then my mates were there, and they're like, oh, good, we'll go drive home and get some. So it was only small, it wasn't far.
Yeah.
Anyway, they drove home. Long story short, I ended up playing that game, and I tore that team to shreds. The coach come up to me after the game, and they're like, oh, you've got a spot with us if you want to come back. Even though my family is there, and my daughter is there, I had to bite my tongue, nail down, and then just decide. I was like, she's the reason why I've got to try and make it. And I ended up moving to Sydney, out west. And I played under 20s for the Panthers. 2010, that was. I was locked in.
You're locked in? Yeah.
I was locked in. If there's a word, I was locked in. the plan was to either stay in Sydney and try chase the dream from there, or come back to Brisbane where I've got a bit of family. My brother's there, so I signed on back with the Dolphins to play in this competition, and that's the top of the top before you go to the NRL. And after that season, I had signed with the Broncos, Brisbane Broncos. And so I'd signed, and I'm there. I'm around all the NRL stars now. Around, and with the club. It wasn't about being around the stars. It was about just breaking into the next level. Even though they were pre-season games, you're still putting on the Broncos jumper and everything.
How did that feel?
It was a dream. That was the dream come true. Then
Yeah.
I signed. When you sign a contract, an NRL contract, that's a dream. So ended up that whole season, I was still signed with the Broncos and everything, and thinking, this is the year I'm gonna, crack into the first grade.
Yeah.
And then ended up didn't play with the Broncos that year. Yeah. And then I ended up signing with another team.
Yeah.
And then this is when you're sort of learning contracts, how signings. How much are you going to get paid there, like salaries and all that. Yeah. Anyway, I had a few opportunities to go to other clubs. One was the Cronulla Sharks, and then the other one was Manly Sea Eagles, which are both in Sydney. Okay, so they're obviously big clubs in the NRL, and so I decided to sign with Manly, which they had a sort of a 2-year deal, 2-year contract. And I was like, 2 years, boom, with full-time club, could go down there and make it. Yeah. Footy, you have injuries, right? You pick up injuries, and man, I picked up some injuries. I broke my skateboard, actually, my skateboard bone. This one was a big one for me. Worst bone to break in your body, because it doesn't heal. There's no blood supply that goes to it, so it doesn't heal. So anyway, I break this bone, and I'm like, get to the end of the season, and we've made the grand final. I was advised not to play. You can't play, broken your skateboard. I'm like, at the time, I'm playing this grand final. This is a once in a lifetime to play a grand final. I'm sweet, it's only a wrist pain. I could not move, I can't even move it now. That's my range of movement. Yeah. I told the doctor, I was like, doctor, load me up on all the injections that you can load me up on. Pump me with cortisones and everything. I'm playing. Adrenaline kicks in. I play this grand final. Greatest thing that I'd done, but the most stupid thing that I could have done too for my body, for my wrist.
Was it worth it?
100% it was. 100% it was. An injury has had an effect on you. You're not really the same player. You change. I pretty much, footy sort of goes away. Yeah, life after footy.
Life after footy.
That's a big thing for a lot of footy players. If I can say for myself, I was so close but so far. Right, that's my story of trying to make it in the NRL. Good enough to be there, good enough, but obviously it wasn't good enough to be named.
A few things that we changed. Are you proud of what you've done? Should be.
That's a question that I struggled to answer, because at first I wasn't, because I never made it. But then I had to think. But then I had to look back. I'm proud of the effort. I'm proud of the effort of the. I kept trying. I kept sort of navigating.
You did not give up.
Yeah, I kept trying to navigate, and I gave up before it even started. Look back at it now. Yeah, I'm proud. So I was doing it on the side, but when I got to Brisbane, I was like, I'll be a coach, be a trainer. So that changed for me. So I went from sort of chasing the sport to I'm going to be a PT. That was my full injection into the industry. What's happening now?
Yeah, where's Delroy?
Yeah.
Life after and life.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of people know me now as I'm a coach, I'm a trainer. I've been in the fitness game for 10 years now, and my last few years have actually been pretty adventurous. Yeah, adventurous in this space. I got to travel a lot, experience a lot. Now I'm just sort of navigating the space, and sort of launched my own training app, my own fitness app. Still a trainer, doing what I sort of know, but now is sort of I've got more of a vision to get more into the business world. So yeah, so I launched an app called Live and Fit. It's an online training and nutrition app. So I launched this towards the end of last year, and right now I'm just sort of working on sort of building that out. But now it's more about not being a PT. It's more about being running a business, running a platform.
Yeah. What advice would you give to a young person who's trying to make it, I suppose, in sport or rugby particularly?
Yeah, good question. I'd say, like, if I was looking back at myself, right, I'd say obviously every kid has a dream to play sport. The advice I'd probably give to myself back then is it's all good. It's all good, like, because obviously my journey was obviously a little bit different to a lot of other people's journey, but it's all good. You know, with where you are now, like as a kid, just keep chasing that and keep working. Hard work is always the driver, right? It's always the driver. Opportunities come, and I was blessed to have kind of opportunities, doors open. But if there's a kid out there that's sort of in the same shoes as me, if you like, get out there, get outside your comfort zone, get outside your own. Like, don't be too quiet, don't be too shy. I was quite shy, and just experience it and just go for it. You'll create your luck when you just keep working hard.